Prepare for the show. 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 Prepare for the show.
Prepare for the show, 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 prepare for the show.
For the show. Prepare for the show. Prepare for the show.
Prepare for the show.
Prepare for the show.
Prepare
imagination runs wild, heart soars free, eyes behold wonders, ears listen elegantly. Oh, the excitement this world brings, orgasmic redundancy. Listen elegantly.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Wefobz podcast, where we highlight real stories, real people, and real journeys. I'm your host, Chief Lock. I got my guy So Smooth in the building. What's up, Guy? How you doing out there, Uso?
Doing great, Uso. Doing great. Can't wait for this one. Let's go.
Right. Before we get into today's episode, we want to take a moment to acknowledge and celebrate AAPI Heritage Month. This month is about honoring the stories, history, culture, and contributions of Asian Americans and Pacific Islander communities everywhere. For us, it's important to continue creating spaces where our people, our voices, and our experiences are heard and preserved through conversations, creativity, and storytelling. And honestly, today's episode represents that perfectly. Now, this episode means a little more to me personally, too. Today's guest isn't just an artist coming on the podcast. This is actually a childhood friend of mine. John and I go way back to American Samoa. We grew up together back at Manulele Tausala during middle school, then later played football together at Tafuna High School, where we were part of the team that brought home the school's first football championship trophy. And beyond sports, music was always part of the journey too. We shared a lot of memories growing up, creating music, being around the culture, and just experiencing life together during those years. So this interview is more than just a conversation. It's also a reunion. And honestly, that makes this episode even more meaningful. So with that being said, a musical nomad who continues to go where the wind takes him. From original Samoan compositions to traditional Delta style blues to hip hop and R&B, John Akapo embraces individuality and the courage to travel the musical road with integrity and perseverance. John Akapo, welcome to the show. So,
hey, my man, Chief Lock. Hey, that was a pretty good introduction, Oos. Thank you, man. I'm so happy to be here, Guy. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for letting me come and be a part of this, and also for this reunion we got going on, man. My Oos.
Put up the colors for us one time, Sully.
Man, I love it. We're getting up there, Oos. We're getting up there, so we need to tell these stories, man.
Absolutely.
I love it. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor, Uso.
Yes, sir. Let's start from the beginning, Big John. Where did this journey with music really start for you?
Man, so I guess I got to go way back. I grew up in Alaska, right?
Yep.
And my mom, my parents, of course, they were like the first generation that left Samoa and moved to America. So of course, they're gonna bring all their brothers and sisters up. You know what I mean? And like, hey, come taste this life. So, and my mom's brothers, they all played music. So they started a little band up there in Alaska, and they had this. They worked at a luau. They started as well. So I remember my youngest memories were of these guys. My uncle was jamming guitar in the garage, practicing, with their band and watching their shows, their luau's and stuff like that. So I remember, yeah, just being in that musical scene. You know what I mean? And just kind of knowing and realizing that my family is musical. I'm like, man, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. But it wasn't until we moved to American Samoa. I think I was like 11 or 12. That's when we met, at Manulele Tausala. And then I started realizing that, my dad's family too, they're singers and guitar players. You know, the Lankilde family. My dad's a Lankilde, right? So Uncle Danny, Uncle Hans, and I'm seeing all these guys. I'm like, wow, the music is on both sides. So uh, it wasn't until like end of 8th grade year, going into freshman year of high school, is when I picked up my first guitar and like just started learning. Because those so Jack, Otasi and Larry, and um, they played. Uncle Larry played guitar, right? So I wanted to.
Yeah.
They started teaching me, and that was it. Like the moment that I realized that I could actually play the guitar and sing, I was like, oh, okay, that's it. I mean, especially like when we were going to school together, the acapella thing was really big. You remember
That
that,
was
right?
big. That was big. That was huge. The acapella
Yeah, the
days.
acapella thing was huge. So like we started all these acapella groups in like 7th and 8th grade, and we're just singing all at school. And I'm like, man, this is amazing. Like I don't know, there's something about moving to Samoa. You realize like, yo, everybody can sing,
Yeah.
everybody is talented. And then I was like, man, I think this is fun. I want to go into this even more. So it got to the point where I was like, man, I want to dig deeper. And then I learned how to play guitar, and then that was it for me. I was like, I couldn't look back, dude.
I would like to think that I was part of that moment because remember when we used to sleep over at with Larry and Jack and them, and then they used to jam out, and you kind of picked up the guitar. Was that the actual time when you kind of was starting to get interested into music because that was kind of our little space that we had a chance to kind of learn it? Because because the acapella was that's kind of what we're doing, the singing, but then picking up the guitar. And I'd like to think that's kind of when it actually started, when we used to sleep over and kind of do our little thing back then. Could you elaborate on
Yeah,
that? Is that
bro.
correct? Is that
No,
correct?
that's correct. You were there, man. You saw it all happen firsthand. Like that was like the seeds being planted. Like when we used to have those little sleepovers and those little jam sessions. Like even before I could play, just watching them play was like, man, I want to learn how to do that. I think I could do that. And Jack taught me my first three chords. It was G,
Mm,
D, and C. And he was like, he said something like, every song is with these chords. So if you can learn 5 songs with these chords, and then I'll teach you another chord or whatever. You know what I mean? So that was it, bro. Like that was the very beginning when we used to jam like that, and just kind of being around it and finally figuring things out. And yeah, man, you were part of it. It was, you saw
oh
it.
yeah. I'm always a fan every time I see you do your thing, man. It reminds me back of those days when we were young, even when we made it to high school and we started jamming out. Like our experience together was kind of like my first band that I actually played because I'm a drummer, so
Yeah,
you and the boys got me into playing rock music when we played that Green Day jam one time. That was crazy. I just kind of was more of a gospel person and kind of
yeah,
explored outside of that. Do you remember how those events that we used to have back then? Like which
yep.
event was that one? Because that's kind of something that stands out to me. Is every time I hear
That
Green
was.
Day these days, I think of you, man.
I remember that was an assembly we had. I think it was like, can't remember if it was like a pep rally or something, but I remember it was during school. Oh, man, I can't even remember. It was so
Yeah,
long
there's
ago,
so many.
but
It was
I
so long,
remember
bro.
that. I remember that. I still think about that because it brings me back to like the way that I look at music is we're doing something that nobody else was doing. Everybody was into like hardcore, gangster rap, which I love as well. But like Green Day, who would have thought all the way in American Samoa, some high school band
I
was gonna
learned
come
those
together.
licks because of that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
wow, man, what a rush, man.
yeah, bro, that's
Yeah.
fun. When I come around.
One thing that makes this episode special is that we actually lived through a lot of those early years together, from Manulele to Tafuna High School, football, music, growing up around island life. We even shared a semester or two at ASCC. Outsiders, you remember?
Yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of shared history there, man.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Yeah, bro.
sorry. That was crazy.
Yes,
When you
bro.
when you think about back in those years in American Samoa, what stands out to you the most?
Man, you know what? That was I think for me, especially for me, because we had moved from Alaska to Samoa. That was such a like an abrupt move. You know what I mean? I went from, kindergarten or first grade to sixth grade in Alaska. That's all I knew, right? And we would come and visit every once in a while, but like being thrown into it, man, it was tough. It was really tough. Like even to this day, I tell my dad like, I don't think you guys realized how hard it was for us to make that
Yeah,
jump. You know what I mean? From Alaska to Samoa. But man, I'm so grateful for that move because that's also an opportunity that not everybody gets to have. To
yeah,
be kind of thrown into the fire. You get to a place where everybody looks like you. Of course, right? This
yeah,
is your home. You know your family, and you got to make friends. You don't really understand the language, but you're forced to learn quick, man.
yeah,
And to me, I'm so grateful for that. Like being able to move to Samoa when we did, and just to kind of build. It's what man, you know what I mean. Especially those are the years 12, 13. You're coming in out of puberty, and you're growing into a young man, and like
yep,
those things is what shaped me to be able to navigate, this world that I've been going, what we're living through now it's a I'm so grateful for that, dude. I
I
love it,
guess.
man. I love it.
Let me add some follow-ups. What was the culture like growing up during that time for you?
The culture in Samoa, um, I would say,
Overall, the whole. I'm sure you probably experienced the culture shock more intensely. How
yeah.
how did how would you interpret all that your experience growing up during that time, the transition and just kind
Well,
of adapting?
I would say culturally because mom and dad were, we grew up like a Samoan household, Samoan family. Mom and dad kind of instilled that in us. So culturally, it wasn't so much of a shock. Um, but just like the everyday life thing was kind of the shocker for me. Like, man, first of all, it was hot. Like Sunday, I couldn't. It took me a
Oh,
while to
that,
get over. I don't even think I ever got over the heat and the humidity. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I think there are some parallels with Alaska and Samoa because I feel like Alaska was kind of a harsh place to grow up. Not like it's dangerous because people are gangs or whatever, nothing like that. But it's cold, right? So you have to
mhm,
rely on your neighbor. You have to rely on your friends, for help. Whenever things go down. Everyday life. And you go to Samoa, it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. You have to rely on everybody. The shocker for me was probably going to church and getting hit in the back of my head by people I've never even seen before in my life.
I remember getting my first
Like,
backhand. I
what?
was like, "What?"
I'm looking at my mom like, a stranger just hit me. She's like, I told you, I told you. And I'm playing games no more.
Right?
But I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say it was like there wasn't one huge thing that kind of stood out to me. It was just a lot of different things. But because we had that base in our home growing up, you know, uh, it made it a little bit easier to transition as far as culturally. But yeah, I think also what played into it is because when you're 12, 11 and 12, you don't know who you are. You don't
Hmm.
know who you're going to be, and that's any culture, right? So being thrown into that at that age, trying to figure life out, trying to figure out who you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be, and you're in a brand new place, this brand new situation. That was yeah, all of it. So okay, sorry for that long answer, but all of it was a shock. But I'm grateful for all of it.
No, take your time, Uso. Thanks. So, what lessons from Samoa still stays with you today?
A lesson, man. A lesson that I learned from one of our teachers at Tafuna High School. Wise man by the name of Samoa Samoa. You know, in gym class, he told me one time, he goes, "Hey, we're playing basketball. We're playing basketball." And Samoa said, "If you see the shot, shot it." So that stayed with me for the rest of my life. If you see the shot, shot it.
Shot it.
Don't be afraid to shot it, nigga.
Freaking Samoa.
Oh my gosh. Don't be
No,
afraid to shot it.
that's my lesson. That's the lesson I learned. It's carried me throughout life. Sully, just shot it, nigga.
Just shot it. Just shot it.
Just shot it.
Oh my gosh. I remember all those teachers, and I mean, out here in the States, they would consider that fob language, like broken English and whatnot. But if you really think about it, man, Samoa has their own interpretation of their way they speak and translate their words. So I can see the difference in the language barriers. It's not so much language barrier; it's just broken English. And so out here in the States, when I first came out here, it seemed like that was a big issue. But if you really think about it, that's when you see the shot it, it makes perfect sense. It
I
sounds
mean,
really off.
right? It makes perfect sense. You see the shot, shot it. I
Shot
just
it.
told I just told my son that a couple weeks ago. I was like, "Son, if you see the shot, shot it." And he looked at me. He's like, "I know what you're trying to say, Dad."
Right?
Like, you see
I
what
have
I'm
those
saying?
I have those same moments. It's amazing, but I'm very proud
Yeah,
of it.
man.
Yeah, my kids would tell me, that's your fob coming out of your dad. I'm just like, proud of it, son. Proud of it,
Yeah,
children.
I'm proud of it.
Proud of
And
it.
that's a cool thing too. Like you were just talking about how there's the broken English, and in the mainland, it's different. How people kind of see it as, oh, this guy's, his English is different. Like, how many languages do you speak? You know what I mean? Like, you think about the average American, how many languages do they speak? They know English and they know some Spanish or whatever, but I mean, now looking back at it now, moving to American Samoa, and the teachers that we had, I don't know why, but they had to teach in English. Do you remember this?
Yep, absolutely.
So in the classroom, they taught us in English. If they were trying to like explain something, they could break it off into Samoan a little bit. But they taught in English. You left the classroom, they spoke to you in Samoan. And looking back, I'm like, dude, that's the fact that they could speak two languages already. Man, I feel bad for even thinking like, man, this fob teacher trying to tell me. But and now I look back like, man, it's just it's amazing. I give them credit for that.
Yeah, I give him credit E for effort. Hey, hey, Guy, did you have an experience like that back? You grew up in Samoa too as well.
Bro, I had the same experience with Samoa. He's my uncle.
Oh,
Bro, shout out to Samoa.
Shout out to
While I was with
Samoa, man.
Samoa,
shout out to
you
Samoa.
guys all know it was the basketball court where he was at.
Yes, yes.
Everybody knows that saying news. If you see the shot, shot it.
Shot it.
Yes, bro.
Man.
Oh, man, that's it.
Wow.
Oh man,
That's
you bring
that's
back
what I'm
good
talking about.
memories, Zeus.
Life lessons. Life
Right.
lessons, man.
There's another piece, John. How did sports and music shape your mindset growing up?
Oh man, that was my whole childhood. You know, that was my whole childhood. Music and sports. Well, I kind of touched on the music already, but sports as well. Growing up in Samoa, I mean, in Alaska, you know, mom and dad were working all the time. So, of course, they had to find sports to put us in to keep us busy while they're at work, right? So the basketball, football, baseball. I was horrible at baseball. So they put us in karate classes, wrestling. You know what I mean? And so up into sixth grade, I was doing all these sports, and then my older brothers, Lomi and Osemo, were awesome athletes already. So when we moved to Samoa, there was no Pop Warner football, right?
Correct. Correct.
So seventh and eighth grade, there's nothing. There's no sports. The only sports we get was we go at Tony Solaita Field in front of the school, and then we play,
Everything.
run around and just smash everybody on the field. But other than that, like there was nothing. So there was this gap. Man, I really miss playing football. So we used to go watch at California when my brothers Lomin and Osama were playing because they were freshmen and sophomore in high school. So I got to go hang out over there. And we all used to go over there, run around the field, act
Yep.
like we were playing football with them. But then finally getting into high school and being able to play football again, that was like, man, it was football was life, dude. Football and music were life for me for a while. It kind of shaped me because the things that you learn in football translate into music. Like you're not going to get anything out of it that you didn't earn, you know, and that translates directly into music. Like if you're not going to practice how to play your guitar, you're not going to get any better. If you're not going to get into the gym and lift weights to get stronger, you won't be any good at football. If you want to get better at singing, if you don't perform in front of people, you're not going to get better. So it's like they both translate, into each other really well, and that's kind of what shaped me. I wasn't a very good football player, but I was, you know, I was I was around some good football players, and I saw what you know I saw how it was supposed to be done. You know, but music, I'm okay. I guess the music is the same. I'm not that good at music, but you keep on surrounding yourself with
Yeah.
musicians
Right.
and professionals. You keep on learning and growing, man. So
And by the time we got into high school, I had the pleasure and honor to work with all three, play with all three of your brother, all of you guys, yeah, Osema, Lomi, and yourself. Um, and one thing that stood out to me back then, I truly miss Osema. How they would, you know, tell me where to run and where they're going to block. How
yeah,
they'll pat themselves on the left side, telling me that they're going to go on the right side. Pat me on the right side, so that the guidance from 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 the line is truly important for running backs and people running with the ball. But I had a lot of good moments with Osema and also with Lomi, carried it on too, and then also me and you got to finish it off together, where we ultimately eventually brought the first championship trophy to Tafuna High School. Granted, we had to share with Samoa High School, but we did have our first championship trophy during that time. Rest in peace to my brother Osema, man. I love that guy. I had some very good moments. He was someone that I resonated with on a personal level in terms of leadership, guidance. Discipline came a lot from Lomi. And then you and I were just goofballs from the back end, just yes sir, yeah, okay, and we keep it pushing.
yeah, yeah,
And
man. Yep. Oh yeah, I miss Osama. Rest in peace, man. That's my first son. I named him after Osama.
oh wow,
Um, so I say his name multiple times every single day. I could either be saying it in a happy way or you know the other the other way, but
yeah,
I'm saying his name every single day, and to me that's the biggest honor, and you're right, dude. Osama he was actually known as a player coach
yep,
because Savali and Lingo, they would always be like, Osama, what do you see in there? Osama would come, oh, I see these guys, this linebacker, he's playing like he's gonna come up, but he's doing this, and then they go in. based on what he's coaching or what he's seeing, and then they run a play, and you ran behind those guys, man. You were a baller yourself, Wolves.
You would
But
never done it
yeah,
without the
man,
linemen, man. Those
I
guys
miss
are
I
doing
miss
their
it.
thing. And then also add on to what you're saying too, like they don't have the Pop Warner or junior preparational leagues to kind of prepare you to get to high school and stuff like that. By the time we got to high school, even high school didn't have like a JV varsity split. We all kind of had to play
Yeah.
together. Remember that too?
Oh yeah. There was no JV. So I mean, think about it. Freshman year, okay, we're lining up against Baya. We're lining up against Sao Chevy. I mean, there's Pika Elisara.
Yep.
You're talking about NFL players.
Yeah.
We're freshmen in high school. We're coming out of 8th grade going into camp. And I'm looking up like, what? What is this? What are these guys are like 50 years old in high school. Oh man. I'm happy now that there's this pathway in Samoa. They start them young. There is a Pop Warner League, Now
Yep.
there's JV and all that stuff. That's solid. That's great. That's great for development. But also, they wouldn't have lasted back then. The way we were getting manhandled by these
Oh my
monsters.
gosh.
Solid. I mean, okay. How many people have played with a guy on their team where their nickname is Killer? That's
Animal.
that's not legal. I don't think that's legal. I don't think. But I love it.
Crazy.
I'm happy for all those times.
Right. One thing that stood out from your bio was the phrase musical nomad. That's powerful because not everybody moves like that. What does being a musical nomad actually mean to you?
I think it's adapting and moving kind of where your heart wants to go. Like we touched on earlier how we were in high school playing Green Day at the high school assembly. I remember our senior ball, we did that song from that movie, That Thing You Do. Doing that thing you do. And I feel like I was always, since I was young, man, I always liked music that not everybody else liked. I always wanted to be different, right? So when I first picked up a guitar and I heard blues, like I wanted to learn how to play the blues. Was anybody in Samoa learning how to play the blues back then? I mean, there was probably just a few of us, maybe two of us, but it was so different than what I was hearing every day from what was coming out of kids' cars or what they were playing on the Teddy Daddy show at night. You know what I mean? Like the popular music of the time. And I loved it all. But as far as like me playing music, I wanted to be different. So I followed the blues. I was into the rock as much as I was into the hip hop. I started listening to like world stuff. I remember when my mom came back from New Zealand, she brought these Tebaka CDs. Said, "That's Tokelauan," because my mom is Tokelauan, I'm Tokelauan,
Yeah,
so
that's right. I remember.
learning how to get into that kind of stuff, I was like, man, everybody my age seemed to not want to do Samoan music. Well, oh, okay, I want to learn some Samoan music. I want to learn some blues stuff. I want to learn how to play some R&B or whatever, So following that throughout my life, I don't know if it was the right move. Maybe if I would have played more radio friendly stuff, maybe I'll be doing better in life. But what I feel is good. Like I don't know. I'm just happy to be able to do what I want, and like I kind of embrace the differences between um differences that we have, the different tastes that we all have when it comes to music. Music is such a subjective thing that I feel like if I didn't follow what I wanted to do, I don't know if I would have been happy. You know,
Yeah.
so being a nomad and just being able to travel, in these different lanes, right? I switch back and forth, I've jammed with reggae bands. I've been in hip hop bands. I've been in cover bands. I've done original stuff. I've played with some big name people, you know what I mean? And I'm happy for them, but I'm also happy for myself. Like I'm glad I'm able to do that comfortably and um, kind of stay loyal to what I believe is right for me. And so when it comes to being a nomad, yeah, that's basically what it means. Sorry for the long-winded answer, but
No, you're good, brother.
yeah, just trying to stay
Does freedom?
stay true to yourself and
Oh
shut it.
yeah, man. Loyal to the soil.
Loyal to the soil. Yeah. La pomua.
Does freedom play a big role in your creativity?
Freedom.
You
That's
know,
that's
expressions, just kind
yeah.
of
It's
no
it's all it
limitations.
is,
Just
bro. That's all it is. But I've said this from the jump too, is freedom, of course. The freedom to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. But I remember growing up, dad would always say to us, like, "Ai, elelei ula vale, ai ula vale me lelei." Oh,
nah.
and I'm like, man, now when I look back, like that is the most, what's the word, poignant. Oh,
Oh.
oh, okay. Take it easy, take it easy. Like, dude, that makes so much sense to me. You know what I mean? It makes so much sense to me now. Like, and I always say that now. Like, son, if you're gonna do something, man, be ula vale about it, man. Go
Yeah.
out and do it. I'm, I'm not the best singer. I'm not the best guitar player, but I'm just ula vale enough to go and do it anyway. And yeah. So freedom,
Can I
yes,
translate for you guys in English because we have a bunch of non-Samoan speaking audience members out there. So what his
yes,
dad
please.
said was, everybody, it's okay to be a. So his dad gave him a saying: "It's okay to be a badass, but be a badass that's very okay." I think that's the closest I can get to it, bros.
It's
Okay, carry
okay to
on,
be a
carry.
badass, but don't be a stupid badass.
Don't be stupid.
Oh, be
Don't
a
be stupid,
badass for the
badass.
right reason.
Yeah.
Yes, I like it. I like it.
John, how do you know when it's time to evolve or shift directions?
Man, you know what? That's something that I kind of uh I can't explain, but I know it. Like I feel it. Like if I'm sitting too long in one certain thing, I kind of it just I think it's God just being like, "Yo, man, is this what you want to do? Are you sure?" Because I opened this door over here, and if you if you're not gonna come to this door that I just opened, it's a beautiful door. Look at this door. The frame is made out of gold. The knob is made out of a diamond. Like this whole door is like an emerald. Like you just it's open. You can walk through and sometimes I walk through the door. Most of the time I walk through the wrong door. I smashed I smashed through the
Oh,
the one that's made of la papa, the plywood door. And it takes me down a whole other path that I wasn't supposed to go on. But I kind of feel like I know when it's time to make that shift. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. Intuition. I gotta say, it's probably God just being like, "Yo,
yeah.
you gotta make a change, or be comfortable enough to make a change."
Has following the journey ever felt risky?
It's all a risk, Goose. It's all a risk. Uh, but if you're gonna bet on something, bet on yourself.
Ooh,
You know.
there you go.
And I'm not like I said, and I'll keep saying I'm not the best at anything, but I'm gonna bet on myself that there's some things that I do that nobody else can do. Like I'll be on time every time. I'll be
That's
early.
right.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna wear a shirt that I ironed. I'm gonna I'm gonna wear, I'm gonna be clean and I'm gonna be make sure that I'm there on time. I'm gonna listen to the client. I'm gonna say, hey, what do you want me to play? What kind of vibe are you looking for? And these are the kind of things, besides the music, you could be the most talented person in the world. But there's an ethic that I've learned that I picked up and I feel like um that's what I'm good at. I'm good at the little things in between. And that's what's carried me on so far. I'm not rich or whatever, popular, but I've been a working musician for over 20 years now. And
Yep.
here in Hawaii, man, this I'm proud of that. So yeah, I forgot what the question was, but that was my answer.
It was a good answer.
It was a good answer. I remember your grind. I remember from Maui all the way to Oahu, like the consistency that I've watched your journey, man, was never skipped a beat, brother. And
It's rare. It's like you don't see
yeah,
musicians hang on that long.
and it is very obvious too, like in your own lane, in a special way. Like I'd watch on you. Sully, when I heard that song, the one you did with Poe Jackson, it was
Oh,
"Sussa You Tonight."
Oh,
I just
that one's still on YouTube, right?
so I just recently heard of somebody's remix and squeezed that in there, and I'm like, what you know about "Sussa You Tonight"?
Shout out
yeah.
Bo Jackson.
Shout out Moso Bo Jackson.
The
Oh man, yeah.
originality, the authenticity, man, that whole thing, like you've been consistent all that. Also, like, and people are just getting caught up with you, man. The niche is so beautiful, it's so authentic. It's everything that I remember about you, and you still stay the course, man. And you're up to
Yeah,
something. Or
man, it's like I said, it was like being hard headed, man. It's a blessing and a curse, dude. Like, I'm telling you, just being ulavale enough to stick through it. Like you said, guy, like can't believe you still holding on. I can't believe this guy's still doing it. I had to crack up, boost. But you're right. You're right, man. Because oh man, I am not supposed to still be doing this, but but this is all I know how to do, and I figured I'm gonna stay consistent. Like this is really what I wanted to do since I was a kid. We talked about this when we were kids. Like I'm gonna be a musician. I'm gonna play music, and I was just ula vale enough to like make a way. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna find a way. I got to Maui because my my uncle had moved back from Seattle. Best guitar player I've ever known in my whole life. My
Mm,
uncle Maui, that's my mom's brother. So he came back to Hawaii. He was like working for Tihachi Productions on Maui at the Luau, and I I didn't think I didn't want to go play music over there. I was living I was in the I was living the nightlife here in Oahu. I was bouncing and just I was in my party life time. And I didn't know that my dad called my uncle Falmao was like, hey, do you have space for John? Because I don't like where he's going right now. I don't like how he's living on Oahu. Can he come live with you and learn how to play music with you? This is something that I didn't figure out. No one told me this. No one told me about this call that my dad made to my uncle
mm,
Falmo. I figured this out on my own. Because here I am, cocky as hell. I'm 20, 23, 24 years old. And then Uncle Falmo calls me and says, hey, Billy, oh man, it's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just doing this, doing that. He's like, you want to come work for me over here and play music at the luau? And I'm like, oh, this guy wants me to come play music over there because he knows that I'm good, right? So I'm like, no, that's okay. I don't want to hang up. And then he starts calling me back, and mom and dad start calling me, hey, you should go try it out. Like, nah. Finally, I give in after months. I'm like, okay, I will give it a try. So I moved there, started learning the show, and he's doing more than just work playing music. Uncle Falmao is like he's a worker, So Hihachi has this warehouse where they also do decorations and stuff for events. Or like they have these big props that they have to go set up, sound systems. So he's out there setting things up, working all day long, then doing the show, then breaking down and doing everything. And so he brought me over there to kind of show me the ropes of that industry. And I was like, yo, this is not what I came for. Like this is a lot more. But he showed me how to be a worker, keep your head down, show up early, do your best, look clean. Shoot, go shower before your gig, small things like that. And then one night at the luau, um, after the show, I was kind of hanging out in the backstage, and I walked off before Uncle Falmao did, and he stayed on, and there's probably like 4 other musicians, and I hear him turn around to those musicians, and he goes, "I, I'm sorry. I apologize for my nephew. He doesn't know how to sing. He doesn't know how to play guitar, but thank you for being patient. I'm going to teach him." So I was in the back like, whoa,
Wow.
and that shook me. That here I am thinking like he called me to go over there. Like hell no. He brought me over there to save my life, to get me out of what I was doing here on Oahu. And he cared enough to like pour himself into me and teach me how to be a working musician. So the next day he was like, "Hey, go out. Let's go to the show." I'm like, "No, Uncle, I'm gonna stay home." He said, "Oh, you sure?" Like, yeah. So every time he would leave, I'd set up my music book in the garage and I'd grab my guitar and freaking jam. Dude, I'll play the guitar, practice every song. I started learning Hawaiian songs for the luau. I'm like learning how to pick. I'm playing the radio, like listening to tapes and recordings. Like hammered this for like 2 weeks straight until I could finally make him proud. And so I was so embarrassed that that's what made me actually look back and be like, oh no, this you ain't nothing. You ain't nobody. you you better put in the work, man. So long story longer.
Did
That's
you?
it,
Is this
man.
when you move? Is that moving to? Is that when you moved to Maui? Is that where that
Yeah,
happened?
that's when I was on Maui.
Yeah.
Lived there from '04 to 2014, 10 years.
Yeah, I remember you coming out and starting the journey out in Maui, and then kind of watching from the outside. It's just like, oh, look at John doing his thing out at these resorts and these. I was like, well, come on, Hawaii, come on, go, diga, sikia, come on, diga. And yeah, you've been doing it for a hot minute. I even remember we had a conversation back when you were talking about transitioning, going back to Oahu. And that too was a big step for you, I believe, right?
Yeah,
It's what was happening at the tail end of that, and you were transitioning over to Oahu, leaving Maui, because man, you really had a connection there, and you were really, from my seeing, observed from the outside, there's an impact that you actually put out there in Maui during those years. What
yeah,
what
man. Maui
happened?
was a big part of everything for me musically because um, working Tihati, I was working, doing luau like 6, 7 nights a week, and then kind of jamming with other bands, outside of the show, and learning what it's like to play in a band, like a real band, and stuff like that. And then I got married, and then we had Osema, and I was like, dude, I gotta find another hustle. I gotta make more money. So I started. Well, okay. First of all, we had the band Off Tomorrow. Um,
There we go. Off tomorrow.
yeah, we had a band called Off Tomorrow, and we're all Usos from Samoa.
Yeah.
We had Daniel Hunkin, Tavita Swani, my cousin Junebug was on the drums. Uh, Remy Ioane was in the band too. You know, it was a fun time. The memories. Anyway, so the band broke up. Everybody got married, had kids. So I was like, I started doing solo stuff. I was like, I can't stop playing music just because the band stopped. So I started doing solo stuff, and then a little while later, mom got sick.
Yeah, I remember.
So she had to move up from Samoa, and she was getting treatment here. First on the Big Island with my sister Gloriana, and then they moved here to Hawaii just to be closer to better doctors. She had her stroke, and my wife and I at the time we were separated. We were married for a year, then we got separated for 3 years. So at the end of those 3 years was when mom got sick, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta move. I gotta move to take care of mom and at least move here to work and be able to support them. You know, my sister and mom at the time. So I said my goodbyes. We had a huge farewell on Maui, and it was sad because I knew that I had to leave my son there. You know, my wife and I, we weren't together. We were separated. So I was trying to move here before Christmas, and then mom called me, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm going Samoa." I'm like, what? What are you doing? You're just too sick. She's like, no, I just want to go for the holidays. So they left. She had Christmas in Samoa, and she got really sick, right? And when she got sick, I was like, oh, okay. If she was kind of on her deathbed in Samoa. So I told Vicky, my wife, I was like, hey, I know we're not together, but maybe if you want to come to Samoa with me, we go say our goodbyes, and then you can come back. So we flew here on Sunday, and Monday we're supposed to get that flight back home, but Monday morning she passed. So we said our goodbyes on the phone. So we were supposed to go and visit, but it turned into mom's funeral, right? And yeah, man, it's hard. It's kind of tough because, like I said, my wife and I we weren't together for all intents and purposes. 3 years doing our own thing. We just co-parenting with our son. But we moved to Samoa. We're there for a whole month together, and it's kind of like, oh, I see what you did, mom. I see what you did. Like, she set us up, man. She was like, oh yeah, you guys want to be hard-headed? Okay, come see if you can bury me and not be back together.
Wow.
So when we came back, we decided to give it another try.
There we go.
And this time, my wife, Nikki, she was like, okay, I'll move. I'll move to Oahu. And she's a Maui girl, born and raised. She decided to move here to give us another chance. I'm like, oh, dude. So that was it for me. Like, okay, my marriage is healing. I'm starting a new chapter, so I got to press. So I went on a full court press here on Oahu, just trying to get the music going, trying to work with Tihati. And so I was walking into restaurants and bars and be like, hey, you guys don't know who I am. I'm a musician. I just moved here. If you let me play, I'll play tonight for free or whenever night for free. You don't have to pay me. I'll work for tips. If you like me, call me back. If not, no loss, right? And that's how I got that's how I got in the door. It was like just knocking on doors and got into the scene slowly and just started working and a lot of help from friends, close friends. Like Bo Jackson actually helped me out a lot too, gave me some gigs over here too. So
That's
yeah, it was
exactly what stood out. The grind was just consistent across, regardless of all the things that was happening on the back end. The most heart life changing things was happening, but still, when it came to your music, you just consistently, that was like your escape. That was your ground. That was the most comfortable, most familiar. And every time you did, I don't even remember you guys even moving to Samoa, if I recall, but I just like straight from Maui, you went straight to Oahu, and bam, like nothing ever changes. Like, this guy don't skip a beat, man. He is on it. And things just kind of picked up. Remember your lives used to do to jump on and be like, hey, Solar man, say hi. Look, you're jamming those lives. Beautiful, man. And you're the only person that I do know that's been authentic from the jump. And I'm starting to hear people, it's 2026. And I've just recently heard people trying to copy the style and be authentic like that and start little gigs like that. I'd like to say, like, hey, my boy John did that. Like, that was the original hustle, the one-man band. You know what I mean? Like, just the whole
And
creative part of putting that whole set together on your own with everything going on, to me, was mind-blowing. That was such a inspiration, and to see you with all these celebrities and just kind of all the stuff that you're surrounded around in the music. It's part of the territory, but it makes me very happy to see you out there doing your thing, brother. John, you touched a lot of different styles: Samoan compositions, Delta blues, hip hop, R&B. Most artists just feel pressure to stay in one lane, but you embraced versatility. Where does that come from?
man, it's just no, man. I've always wanted to be different, man. I never wanted to. Maybe it's because I had two older brothers who were like, they were so huge in my eyes. When I looked at them, like they were such big people. Like, I mean, yeah, they're big physically, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just characters, right? I looked up to them like, man. But man, I want to be my own person. I think because I was the youngest for so long before my sister came, like, I want to be different, you know? So I started doing things, moving in different directions just to kind of set myself apart. Um, Even though I'm glad to say that I am different, like I look back and I'm happy that I was part of that bigger pictures. I'm proud to be the younger brother. You know, I'm happy to be their little brother. Happy to be my sister's older brother. You know, like part of something. But also musically, don't put me in a box, man. You put me in a box, I'm telling you, I'm gonna break that box. I don't like people telling me what to do or how to do it. And that's like I said, that's a blessing and a curse because maybe my role would have went a whole other way. But yeah,
I, I'd like to think I know this answer to this question, but which genre feels the most natural to you?
uh, blues. I consider
I was
myself.
right. I knew it. Yeah. I
Yeah,
was like, I think
man.
I know it.
It's it's just not. I don't know why. I'm not. It's not like I grew up in the South. You know, I didn't grow up listening to blues music, but for some reason, when I first started playing guitar, that was just it. Like for me, um, yeah, man, blues is it.
How do you approach songwriting differently between genres?
Oh, okay. I guess for me, I'm trying to think of a smart answer here.
That's so typical John, bro. Tell her, if you know, you know. This is Big John of the pod.
Trying to think of the correct answer. No, man, I don't know. This when it comes to songwriting, I'm so everywhere. Like sometimes I'll come up with like a melody. If it's like a blues riff, then I'll think like, okay, you know, what am I feeling? Like what's the
Mm,
I think of a subject. Okay, nah, it's not a good subject. Let's move on. Okay,
yeah.
that's a good. Okay, this one. You know, but I feel like when it comes to like writing Samoan stuff, the melody is super important. And I haven't cracked that code yet, but I'm trying to. That's going to be my lifelong lesson is to keep on learning the melody. Because I know when I hear an old school Samoan song, you don't even have to hear the words. The melody will kick in. You be like, that feeling,
That's
man.
yeah.
Especially our Samoan music, you know. And so, yeah, it's different. depending on what I'm trying to write. I did a song I released last November. It's a reggae song,
Mm,
but it's all in Samoan and it's about gout. So it's like, how am I going to approach this, right? So I started writing the music first, and I came in with the melody. I'm like, what is this song about? Love? Like, no, man, this song's about gout. Like, how painful it is.
yeah.
So yeah, man.
Do you think
I
it's
wish I was a better songwriter.
do you think that your creative is based on feelings or your intention when you're songwriting?
I would say feeling,
Mm,
because and intention could be dangerous, because if you're doing it with intention, like to convey your message or how you want people to feel, no one's going to get that, man. People listen to music because of how it makes them feel. They can hear what you're trying to say, but if your intention doesn't match what they're feeling, you're going to miss. So if you just write it off of what you're feeling, I feel like that way you have a better chance of, like, I guess, connecting.
hey, Guy, you got any add-ons? Did it,
Saying in terms of music, or are you saying in terms of the art and the sound that he's producing?
anything, brother?
Bro, you just invented, like, I know you have a new sound out there that you're working on, and I know I've talked a lot about it as well. This sound that you all bring, that we just didn't name it yet. And I know we're still trying to figure it out, from a sense. Even for me, like, even though I do film, 50% of film is music, and I follow the journey. I learned from your predecessors, como Ed, como Alfred. They taught me guitar, and I know you and I played over there at Chaminades, when Chaminade
Yeah,
had their
really.
when they started their run, started winning some PCC, what do you call it, competitions, right? We started
Yep.
those bands, and that's where I learned. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I understand your whole journey of the Nomad. So, do you think you're really close to that new sound that you you know? I know every artist is developing a sound that's unique, but do you think you're close to touching it? You're close to naming it?
Man, I don't know. Man, so
It's
that's a
a,
great question. That's a great question.
Right? Because there's the new
Um,
sound we're looking for, right?
okay, I'm sitting on this song right now that I've been in the studio since like October, just kind of releasing singles and getting these creative juices going. And I got this song it's so different. It's so different, and you touched on it because there's no name for what this thing is. It's so weird. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to call it. I don't know. I'll let you guys figure that one out, man. I have no clue what to call this style of music, man. But it's noise. It's some kind of noise.
um, I also have that um unclarity of building something and not actually knowing exactly what it is. But what I do realize is it takes a span of years, not just years, but like even decades, to see it for what it is and then come to a point to actually naming what it was,
Mm,
what you were designing, but didn't know at the time. Like,
mm,
I think you're still in the journey of your creation. And it may not be today, tomorrow, because it sure wasn't a decade ago or whatever, but somewhere down the line. And it makes me feel like that's what we were put on this earth, was simply just to kind of create the existence of whatever it is, because there's a very unique part of your sound that stands out. It's just not that this Big John doing this thing. There is feelings attached to it, emotions attached to it, struggles and successes and everything that incorporates it, and I think through time is when it'll actually land. Does that you guys would you guys agree? Or John, would you agree? It's
Yeah,
still
that makes
part of that
sense.
journey at some point, maybe
Yeah, man.
it'll
I
figure it
feel
out.
like
It'll just make sense. Like it's kind of like still missing some pieces, but we just haven't crossed the road to realize it yet. And when
yeah,
that moment happens, we'll know.
yeah, man. And maybe it's not my job or my time to put a label on it, you know? Maybe it's my job to just keep on building and creating and let that be for, more accomplished people than me to figure out what it's called. Or let the people figure it out, you know? Maybe it's
I can.
called Bob Music, you know?
Yeah.
We Fobs, you know?
He
You
said it
know,
Just
like
that's
say
the
that.
genre.
pop music.
Yep, that's the it's okay. You guys remember? So growing up in American Samoa, coolest thing is we only had our radio station, right? What kind of music did our radio stations play? Like let's say um, KSBS. I'm talking on a 24-hour span of music. What kind of music did they play?
Look, with KSBS FM,
Yes,
was this before 93 KHJ? They were playing
yes. So okay, take any radio station from American Samoa. What kind of music do they play?
so,
It,
Shaggy,
everything,
everything.
everything,
Yeah,
right? You guys remember that? Like Samoa played every style, every genre of music because that was our window, right, into the rest of the world. I'm talking pre-internet. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like
Yep.
all we had the Rick D's on Sundays. We had the Teddy Deddy show at night where you could call in and make your requests. And that was our window. But throughout the day, there'd be jazz, there'd be like Samoan music, all types of Polynesian music, church songs, gospel, and that was the coolest thing because that helped shape that's okay. We can go back to that question earlier about what helped shape my individuality and whatever the difference. I think that's one of the factors right there is KB, KSBS, they played everything. And I was so used to listening to everything that I didn't want to just play one thing. So you guys helped me unpack that right there.
bro.
Hey,
He's right because
Hey.
Rick D's in the weekly top 40s was always giving us the best music from the United States. From the
yeah,
that's he's right, bro. I totally forgot. My bad. I totally forgot.
yeah, yeah, that's right, man. Rick D and the weekly top 40. Yeah, man.
Yeah. We had the
You
top
you get to
hits
hear
and
it
everything.
all. You get to hear all
Yeah.
types of music, and that was huge.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the days of those were the late '90s or the '90s where all the hits were coming on, and then we used to do those dedications in Kokarikiki and just kind of like wait and let hear it. And they had every selections. To me, that's a lot of hip hop and R&B was
Oh yeah.
influenced. I was keen into that type of music, and then if it wasn't hip hop or R&B, was definitely church the entire time, bumping gospel music. So
Yep.
the influence of that impact was very limited. I mean, we had to call in and the dedications alone too, just kind of like how that process worked for the listening.
Those
Really,
dedications were top notch.
it
I'll
sounds
send this
corny today,
dedication
but
out to my boyfriend Lotu from Tafuna High School. Tell him TCC IC.
TCCIC. I remember that.
Or it used to get even deeper. It used to be TCCIRC or
oh my gosh,
TCCIRDC.
Is that Tasha?
yeah, for the
I'll see you
yeah,
tomorrow
those
at
were
school.
personal. Oh my gosh, yeah, the struggle was real. The creativity that we had to go
Telling you,
through.
man. Oh, yeah. But yeah,
Great
man.
stuff.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they call this kind of music. I don't know, man.
Nice. John, you also mentioned traveling the musical road with integrity and perseverance. That tells me that there were moments where things probably weren't easy. Can you talk about some challenges you faced along the journey and what kept you going?
Yeah, man. There was a time when um people were pushing to like conform to the popular music here in Hawaii when I was playing music, right? Which is reggae. I love
Mhm.
reggae music. Don't get me wrong. As a Polynesian, how could you not like reggae? We grew up on Lucky Dube and Bob Marley and all that kind of stuff, man. But I feel like why? Why do I have to why do I have to do that? So you remember this lot. Um I was part of a duo with my also Lou, um, called
Oh,
Travel Soul.
wow.
So we
Yes.
released an album in 2002, right before I moved up here to Hawaii. So we came up with like physical copies of the CD, and we
Mhm.
walked it into radio stations, and we walked it into record stores. You know what I mean? Just trying to get people to listen to it. And there was a section, I forget what station it was, but they had this section called the 5 minute Fefe. You guys ever heard of that? You guys remember that? And it was like a segment on the radio from like 4 p.m. where they would play a Samoan song because the DJ was Samoan. What was his name? I forget his name, but he would play a Samoan song every day. It could be a new song, it could be an old one. But we walked in our CD to the radio station. We're like, "Yo, we're trying to submit this for the 5 minute Fefe, and if you could maybe try something and see if you like it, and put something on regular rotation, we love it." It never made it. It never aired.
Wow.
But
Ooh.
I kinda had a not that I was bitter, but I was just like, "Oh, there's a game you gotta play."
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, it's not really what we're looking for. It's not radio friendly here in Hawaii." You're like, "Oh, okay." So I figured out that you gotta play this game in order to get
Yep.
for certain doors to open. And like we just spent a whole hour talking about, like, I don't like that. I don't like playing games like that. So I was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna play that game. I'm just gonna do what I wanna do what makes me happy, what feels good to me. And if it doesn't get played, that's fine.
Right.
I'm gonna keep on grinding, keep on making music the way I like to make music." And it's it comes to like the challenges is you start seeing people around you getting raised up, you know, who are not that they're playing the game, but they're already in the game playing that kind of music that's radio friendly. And you can see things just taking off for them. And I'm like, oh, should I? Should I? No, I just got to stick with what I want, man. And an example of that is that song "Sasa You Tonight." It's a reggae song.
Mhm.
The first version of that, which I wrote with my Off Tomorrow brothers, it was a reggae version that we just wrote in the garage.
Mm.
I'm not going to tell you what the original lyrics are 'cause I ain't trying to get canceled already. All right, but let's just say "Sasa You Tonight" is that's the TV version.
I figured. I figured.
So it was a reggae song because we knew that's what Maui loved reggae. It was it was catchy. Everybody caught on to it. But the vision that I had for the song was not reggae.
Mm.
So we never recorded it because I didn't
Right.
want to record the reggae version. So when I moved here and then also Paul Jackson was like, "Sully, what you doing with this song?" I gave him the version that I wanted, the one that I heard in my head. You know what I mean? So the one that you hear now, it's not reggae. It's a different. That's just what I
Mm.
originally envisioned for the song, and I'm happy
Nice.
with it, man. Like I'm glad we didn't do the reggae version. So yeah.
You didn't sell out. You held true to the creation.
Yeah.
Sully, if I could go back 20 years, I'd say, Sully, you better sell out.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'll go back to like, Sully, what do you think? You better sell out, boy.
Uh,
Oh, I'm not sell out. Oh man. Do you want to sell tickets or you want to just oh man. Yeah.
Obviously, you picked authenticity over opportunities. What kept you grounded through difficult seasons?
Man, I gotta say, I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound like everybody else, but man, it's true. God is the one who kind of, you know, sat me down, and he's the one who keeps me grounded to be like, yo, you got to know what is right and what is wrong. And, I'm thankful that mom and dad instilled in us since we were young, the faith in God. No matter how far you wander off the path, you got to know that somebody out there looking after you. And mom's prayers have, even after she left us, they've kind of helped me to stay grounded and to not get into the things that, man, this industry is wild, man.
Yeah.
I've seen it all, and I'm grateful to God for keeping me out of situations that I could have easily fell into, if I had not listened to Him, man. So yeah, definitely God.
Your Samoan roots are part of your artistry. How important is culture in your music and in your identity as a creator?
Um, man, I wouldn't say. How do I answer this? How important is being Samoan artistry? Uh,
Your Samoan roots definitely appears to be part of your artistry, the way your style, your structure.
yeah.
Obviously, that sounds like it comes from your cultural roots because you're not just
You know
Samoan.
what? What you just said, that's it. Like the fact that I don't really think about it, but you can that somebody else can recognize it, that's kind of speaks for itself to me. The fact that I'm not trying to intentionally be Samoan and write in anything I do, but it is in everything I do because that's who I am, you know? And I feel like the fact that it's who I am and I'm so strong in my own belief in who I am as a person and as a Samoan. uh, Yeah, man. The fact that it comes out in anything I do, it's not intentional. I grew up in Alaska. I spent my childhood in Alaska.
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't tell me anybody saw me in Alaska and be like, "Oh, he's Mexican." No, no, that kid's Samoan. So it's ingrained in me, and I can't say that I'm doing it on purpose. I'm just grateful that I was raised in a house where, yeah, man, it's a part of who I am, and if it comes out in the music, that's solid. I'm down for it.
I got one more for you, Big John. For anyone watching this right now who's still trying to find their sound, their lane, and their confidence as a creative, what advice would you give them?
Make it till you make it.
See? That's right. You heard
Oh,
it.
this music is like I don't even know if I found my sound. You know what I mean? The only way you're gonna find your sound is if you mimic somebody else's sound. take that sound and tweak it, tweak it, and tweak it. Take from somebody else, take from here, take from there. Learn as much as you can. Learn as much as you can. And I promise you, eventually your sound is going to come out of that. You know, the what is it that saying? The highest form of flattery is
Imitation. I know, bro. I know.
that's why I pick you up. Yeah, man. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to not have a voice, not have a sound. Um, don't be afraid to try. You know, you got to keep on learning as much as you can. Eventually, the sound is going to come out. You know, your sound will come out. That's what I think.
Guy so smooth. What you got before we close this one out, bro?
Bro, I think we are all close to that sound that you're talking about, Luce, and I think we need to hook up because 2026 going forward, we ain't getting any younger. And in terms of everything you provided, thank you so for
John Akapo, we appreciate you for coming through and sharing your story, your mindset, and your journey with us. And personally, Uso, it was very good reconnecting and being able to sit down like this again after all these years. To everyone watching, make sure you tap in with John Akapo, support his music, and follow everything he's building. He'll have all his links, we'll have all his links in the descriptions. And during this AAPI Heritage Month, continue supporting creators, storytellers, artists, and voices from our community. These stories matter and preserving them matters. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with somebody who needs to hear it. This is the We5 Podcast. I'm Chief Lock. That's Guy So Smooth. And we catch you on that next one. Bless, bless.
We fought from afar to the top now. Feel the rhythm.